Hello and welcome, I'm Nito the GNTG and welcome to Raging G. Spider-Man has a big history behind him and he has many live-action adaptations. Many of them focus on Mary Jane, a character that is a major part of Spider-Man's legacy. She is a lover, a wife, a mother of his child in some stories, and much more. But Spider-Man's first love was Gwen Stacy. A character that her biggest story, unfortunately, is how she died by the hands of the Green Goblin. There are many what-if stories that show scenarios of what would happen if she lived, but we won't talk about those in this episode. In this episode, we will talk about how Peter Parker's and Gwen Stacy's love started forming, with a jealousy created by Mary Jane, and how blue Spider-Man gets every year in Valentine. So let's talk about this small but amazing miniseries, Spiderman Blue. This comic was created by Jeph, Loeb and Tim Sale. These two have worked in many stories of similar style, like Daredevil Yellow, Hulk Grey and Captain America White. They have a distinctive style of telling stories from the earlier days of the hero they choose to write for, but they focus more on the character and his personality, rather than the action or the simple plot that is used as a catalyst as to talk more about the main hero. Each issue of this comic begins with Peter Parker narrating how he is falling in love with Gwen Stacy slowly, but each one has a similar pattern, with Spider-Man fighting a villain of his, showing what makes him a hero, trying to win with every way possible, through science, outsmarting each antagonist to even pure luck. But we also see his struggles, trying to get warm in the winter and trying his best to overcome his sickness to help others, how he feels hiding his identity from Aunt May and his friends, and finally, how he feels losing Gwen Stacy from his life. There is a basic plot with Kraven the Hunter orchestrating enemies to attack Spider-Man, finding clues and closing in on who is behind Spider-Man's mask. But that's not the thing that someone should focus on this story. As I said, the focus is the struggle and the psychology of Peter Parker and how he gets affected by everything that happens around him. The story also shows other familiar characters and how they are affected by Spider-Man's heroics. A few examples like the admiration of Flash Thompson and what Spidey represents that in the end makes him join the army, the decision that leads him in many great adventures. Gwen Stacy and why she likes Parker. The people that work for the Daily Bugle and J. Jonah Jameson Jr. and how they feel working under him and how they try to help Parker. Aunt May and how she wants for him to spread his wings and live his life, and many more. Let's dive though a little bit more on how the artist manages to draw readers in. This comic has a magnificent panel layout in each issue. You see, a thing that not many people notice is the line of sight of each page. With this, I mean that your eye will move from bubble to the eyes or the movement of each character and other things in order to have a flow for the entire page. It creates an easy-to-read comic that makes it more appealing by the first look and pleasing to the reader. Here, not only they are using many things to create this flow, but they also manage to use the webs of Spider-Man in an amazing degree, making you go from one side to the page to the other, creating a unique and interesting visual narrative. Of course, a great help are the colors provided by Steve, and I'm not going to say his last name, but you can read it. And as the title suggests, Spider-Man feels sad or melancholic, aka blue. And this is shown from the first page, with the dark blue skies of the night, the cloudy skies of the winter, and the many times you'll see Peter Parker sitting alone, pondering on what he should do next. Each issue has an abundance of the blue color, and I personally enjoy them. A small thing that I noticed early on is that the designs remind me of the design style of Frank Miller, and that kinda bugged me a little bit. Another thing, how the artist draws Harry Osborn. Really weird. So, reaching the ending, we see that Peter Parker is narrating his feelings and how he still loves Gwen Stacy, even though she has been dead for a few years, and he is married to Mary Jane, and we see that MJ was listening. But she wasn't angry, mad, jealous, or anything like that. She was sad, Sad that she also lost a friend, and a person that was a big part of the life of the guys he had married. And with that note, the comic reaches its end. Spiderman Blue is a small story. It's visually appealing, so even new readers can enjoy it for that. But it's not just that. It's the feelings of Spider-Man for Gwen Stacy, a character that had an unfair death, and one of the few characters that was never brought back to life. The struggle of a teenager to balance his life between his secret identity and his normal life, with friends and family and a small romantic story. That unfortunately, the ending of it is the most tragic thing that Spider-Man has been through, and one of the most defining things that happened to his character. That was it all for this episode. I'm NTG, and until next night, keep reading. And that was it all for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please see one of my other videos. You can click up here and see one. Also, don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment down below on which other comic you want me to talk about. See ya!